The time has finally come. I've been hearing about this thing for like the past 6 months. Everyone is hyped, very stoked that this is gonna be the Whoop replacement. It's the Polar Loop. Today, we're unboxing it. I'm gonna give you my initial impressions after being a 6+ year Whoop member. I've tested the Hume, I've tested the Helio. I have gone deep on the screenless wearables, guys. That's because subscriptions suck. I love the Whoop, but I don't love what I have to pay for it year in and year out. That's where the Polar Loop comes in. No subscription, and it promises to do pretty much everything the Whoop does. Will it hold up to that? Will it be as good or better? Let's dive in and find out. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Iron Health Fitness. I'm your host, Ryan O'Connor, and yeah, it's finally here. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for me to review this, and I got it. And we're gonna check it out. We're gonna unbox this thing. I'm gonna give you my first impressions being a longtime Whoop user, being a person who tested the Hume for months, the Helio for months. Let's see what this thing has got. We're gonna talk about the price. We're gonna talk about, obviously, how it doesn't have a subscription. We'll talk about that right now. Thumbs up for me, that's amazing, right? We're gonna check out the app because, in my opinion, the Hume, that just wasn't for me. I get a lot of questions about that. I'll be honest with you guys, I returned that one. I didn't like that at all. It did not feel fitness focused. It felt more just like longevity and health focused. But for me, you need fitness to have health and longevity. So that just didn't scratch the itch. Didn't like how it looked. Didn't like how thin the band was. I could go on. Answers a lot of questions I've been getting. The Helio, very impressed. If you haven't seen some of my videos on the Helio, specifically this one where I compared it directly to the Whoop for how it tracks and how accurate it is at tracking RHR, HRV, your sleep and recovery, you gotta check that out. Very impressed. I know you're still waiting on that long-term test. I'm getting to that, don't you guys worry. And the giveaway, I haven't forgotten, okay? Helio, very impressed. This one, same thing. I've been hearing a lot of hype about it, guys, right? Polar is a very established company. They've been doing heart rate straps for the past 5 decades, right? So with that reputation, something like this has gotta be good, right? Well, let's jump in and let's find out. All right, guys, really quick, before we get into that unboxing, you wanna stick to the end of that because there is a special surprise. One of you is gonna get hooked up real big, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, here it is, the Polar Loop. Really stoked about this, to be honest. Like the color combination here, the gold with the brown. As you can see, I got the gold watch on just for this special occasion. Okay, let's see what it's got here. 24/7 activity tracking, sleep and recovery measurement, automatic training detection, like I mentioned in my last video, long battery life. Claims to be 8 days. Now, the Whoop claims to be 15, and it actually has been staying right around there, having it for this long already. Pretty impressed with that. This has a subscription though. This does not. Good day start here. Do they really? Let's see. With any good unboxing video, gotta have a sick knife to cut the tape. Ooh, I like the little red pull tab too. That's pretty slick. Always scared I'm just gonna like cut off my thumb on a video like this. Okay, ready, guys? Boom! Oh, it looks, wait a second. Is this a bicep band that it came with, or is this extra? Let's see, so this says, you guys can see, medium, large, so maybe it came with 2 different size bands. That would be really cool. I already can tell you right away, and you guys know that I came prepared. We got the Helio right here, okay? We got the Whoop, and let's just take it in for a second. I did get a pretty sweet custom strap recently. Call me a shill, call me whatever you want. I love the Whoop straps. It's annoying that I had to buy all new ones, but I mean, come on now, that looks sick. Got the blue with the gold. Anyway, we're gonna compare them all. I came prepared for you guys today. So we got the Helio. Here we're gonna, which, you know, give this some credit here in this video. This Velcro stayed pretty taut so far. Someone lucky out there will be getting this. Don't worry, like I said, I did not forget. Okay, now we got this. And on first glance, yes, I like how it feels. They went the Velcro, which I'd rather have how the Whoop goes. You know, I've talked about this in other videos, but it's basically just like the hook and loop kind of vibe where this goes through, this is staying really tight, right? This does not loosen on me, stays very tight. The reason I don't love the Velcro Even though this one has stayed, and I know I was concerned about that in my initial review of this bad boy, is, you know, longevity of, is this gonna basically get loose over time and just start getting, you know, falling off almost and getting loose as I'm lifting, as I'm doing activities? It has not. The one thing I don't love is it's kind of a guess every time. It's like, oh, is that right? Is that right? And no, are you taking this off a bunch? No, but do I take it off when I shower and other things like this? Or you do have to take this off to charge, which we will be talking about, because I also brought, oh gosh, the Whoop charger, right? Which is very nice, so you can put it on while you're wearing it, charging it. 15-day battery life here, 15-day battery life here. This is 10, been staying very solid on that. But every time you take it off, it's like you gotta kind of fine tune it with the Velcro. That's what this is looking like as well. A little more robust Velcro, as you can see. More surface area. There it is. But it's always my favorite part. Okay, we gotta look at the sensor. So this sensor by Polar is an optical heart rate sensor designed specifically in-house by Polar. This has been their bread and butter, guys. I've had a Polar heart rate strap for frickin', I don't know, 12 to 15 years. This is how they started. They've been doing it for 50 years. This sensor looks really different compared to this one and this one. So we will see the accuracy. I will obviously be testing all those kind of things for you guys, but in this video, we're just kind of getting, yeah, so that's really cool. Small, medium, and they sent you a medium large. Now, if you did have a really small bicep, you could maybe fit this around your bicep, but it's obviously gonna be for the wrist. Okay, let's see if I'm a small, medium. I don't have the biggest wrist, let's be honest. I like the touch of detail here though. You can see if I can get it. Oh yeah, look at that, Polar. The gold is a nice touch. Okay, so this can just slide through like that. Let's be smart here. Put it back how they had it, kind of like this. And you're gonna put it through, clasp, boom. It's quite enjoyable, isn't it? I'm sure. Okay, this one doesn't have very much stretch compared to the Helio. I did mention that I did like, and you'll see right here, this thing has some stretch. You can kind of get it around easier. That is, you know what, honestly, that's very comfortable. Like, dang, to be honest, that fits very well right on top of that nice wrist, kind of like that wrist bone area, right? So if I take off the watch really quick, there's kind of this flat indentation most of us have. You know, if we're gonna get fancy, you got your radius and ulna, they're both gonna have heads, right? And right behind that, there's kind of this flat area. And holy moly. First of all, this thing is freaking light and it fits perfectly right there. I mean, that's pretty, it's hard to give you guys the angles, but yeah, this has been by far maybe even better than the Whoop in terms of how it feels. Because put this one back on. I don't love how this one feels, I'm not gonna lie. It feels too wide like this, like it kind of spills over on my ulnar head. You know, if we're gonna get real scientific, I love anatomy. And then on this side, it just kind of like feels like it's kind of going like this if I was to exaggerate how it feels, right? The Whoop, obviously I'm super used to it, but I'd almost say the Whoop, yeah, the Whoop is similar, right? It just kind of feels like it's pushing like this way. Whereas this one, man, it's like perfectly centered. What do you guys think? Looks pretty slick. Okay, let's see what else is in this package. I just got so distracted with the strap, but yeah, you know, for sure +1 for sending 2 different size straps. That's really cool. Okay. Yeah, we don't need that. All right, got the USB. Okay. So, you know, like anything, there's gonna be a cost that comes with a cost. So let's talk about that for a sec. This is $200, okay? No subscription. Love that, amazing. This, yes, you can get it for $100. I would never recommend someone buy that membership, in my opinion. If you're gonna get the Whoop, get the middle. I think it's called the One. It's $239 a year, okay? This has wireless charging capabilities, obviously. You can put this thing stays charged 14 days, this stays charged 14 days. I can wear it like this while it's charging. Look, it's charging right now. That's really cool. This, I have the charger upstairs, but similar to this, it's almost identical. Basically, USB-C, boom, right? You gotta have a block. None of these things come with blocks anymore. That's fine, you have so many, we all do. and you plug this in like this, and then it has to stay off you while it's charged unless you want to stay tethered to it or you have a really long USB-C. That'd be ridiculous. So this obviously attaches to it, charges into the wall. 8 days of battery life, like I mentioned. Okay, and then of course, get that shit out of here. Of course, they're gonna have some instructions. Okay, getting started guide. So obviously this can be like, hey, install the app. One thing I saw that was cool, and I was reading some stuff on this, is this is a Danish company, and they are very strict with their data privacy and sharing things like this. Now, a lot of these companies probably say things like this, guys. I don't know. I don't get too worried about that with everything that we're getting tracked with nowadays. It's quite insane. But I did think that was cool they mentioned that. Okay, so they talk about, we're not, come on. That's a waste of everybody's time. Let's look at the app. But first impressions, man, I literally forgot it was on already. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sugarcoating how comfortable this thing is off rip. And I think it looks good. Definitely looks better than this, in my opinion. Never loved the strap on this. Obviously, guys, this is $100, okay? 99 bucks. Like this, just obviously I like the look of the Whoop. And the Hume, like I said, I returned it. Really didn't like the look of that, and just other things were more important, but the look was a factor in that as well. And I like this. They have 3 different colorways of this. There's like a black, I think it's a tan or something, and then they have a brown, and I think there's even more customizability that they're gonna have, obviously, in the future, that you could, replace this part, if you can see. Like maybe you could replace this or this, but really like the brown. Okay, let's look at the app because that is very important in this whole thing. But first, it's the end of the unboxing, and you're probably thinking, Ryan, what the heck? I made it here. You said there'd be a surprise. Where is it? It's right here. This is another brand new Polar Loop strap. You can see it's still got the tape, never been opened. Here's the other one. This is gonna come to one of you guys. When this video gets 50,000 views, I'm gonna randomly select a comment below and I'll send it straight to your door. I'll pay for the shipping, all fees covered. I really appreciate your guys' support, so I do wanna hook you up. Been a lot of videos about these straps. This one's probably the most anticipated that I've heard from the comments, heard from my community. So I wanna send one to you. All right, it's app time. Let's see what this thing's got. I had some technical difficulties. I'm not gonna lie, the Whoop compared to any of these other straps was so much easier to set up and integrate. But basically what I had to do was plug in, don't have it on right now, I had to plug in the loop. So now we're in the app. I just had to start by putting in basic information, height, weight, and then how many hours per week I train. Now we're gonna connect this. I do wish it was a little bit easier, but here we are. Okay, so it's gonna pair, cool deal. Setting up Polar Loop Gen 2. So the Gen 1, this has been around for a bit. It was just only centered on like a business or corporate setting where you could get a bunch for, say, like your company, right? But now it's individualized like this. Okay, this is interesting. So I'm actually, since I'll be testing this against the Whoop, wherever that just went, I'm gonna wear my Whoop on my right hand just because I've always done it that way. So I'm gonna wear this one just like I've tested the other ones, and I'll do better this time because I know a lot of you commented. I'll switch them maybe roughly halfway through the month of testing, but I'm gonna start with this one on my left. And then preferred sleep time. Your sleep time preferences should match your real sleep need. The recommended range, 7 to 9 hours, shows to work for most people. Yeah, so I'm trying to always sleep 7.5 hours. That'd be ideal for me. That doesn't always happen, but let's do that 8 hours. So I'll do it on my left wrist. And then here we go. Track training automatically. We can automatically track your training. You'll get heart rate data from these training sessions. You can change this setting later on, go to device settings, blah, blah, blah. But of course, I want it to automatically track. Let's see how good it is. If you didn't see my last video, I'll link it here. The Whoop promised to be better. Was it? I don't know, we'll see. Okay, of course you need to update. This may take up to 9 minutes, so we will be back, guys. All right, setup is completed. It's ready for use. Let's get this introduction. See what we got here. Good days start here. Polar Loop tracks energy, sleep, stress, activity, and training. That's very important. Day and night. I don't know what activities you're doing during the middle of the night, but hey, I'm not judging, and they might be fun ones. Okay, it doesn't miss a beat either. How to wear it. Make sure you have the correct setting on your wrist to where you wear a device. The oval mark on the frame should be facing the side of the wrist your thumb is on. I had it on backwards, so this is good because how would you know that, right? Adjust the band so it feels comfortable but snug. Okay, I like that little indication, and it's subtle. It's not like a weird arrow or something. Polar Loop tracks your heart rate automatically all day and night, continuously and accurately. Of course. Automatic training tracking. Begin your workout and we'll do the rest. Polar Loop can automatically track your workouts from start to finish by following changes in your heart rate. We're gonna test that in about 2 hours from now. Gonna wear it for my training. Let's see. Get more flow. That's what this app's called, the Polar Flow. You can use the Flow app to record your workouts. And when you train with the Flow app, you can get GPS for your training sessions and choose your spot for more than 170 sport pro. Yo, that's a lot. That is a lot of profiles. Sleep tracking. Tracks how much deep, light REM sleep you get each night so you can understand how well your body restores itself. Yes, this is awesome. So far, guys, it's exactly like I was saying. This is trying to replace the Whoop. They're trying to do pretty much everything that it does without that sub though. Boost from sleep. So this is going to analyze your recent sleep and predict how alert and focused you'll be during the day, helping you optimally balance work, workouts, and rest. It's that whole fitness, man. Recovery. Nightly recharge. So this can be like a recovery score, right? It's going to combine your sleep and autonomic nervous system, which is your HRV, right? It's just the balance between your sympathetic, fight or flight, and your autonomic, which is rest and digest. The balance of those two, or basically how quickly you can switch between those, is your HRV, which is interesting so far. I haven't seen that it specifically talks about HRV. We'll see if it tracks it, but it will tell you how recovered you are overnight. This way you can train smarter, avoid overload, and stay balanced. Love it. Daily activity tracking measures all your movement throughout the day, not just workouts. So I'm assuming it's tracking steps, calories burned, these kind of things. All right, so we're in this More tab here in the bottom right of the app, which you guys better pay attention to because one of you's getting this, right? So you got the nightly recharge. Obviously, right now, it's gonna show you what your recovery is, training stress while you slept. I didn't sleep yet. So check back on that. Featured tutorials, no, we don't need that. Shop, don't care. Blog, if you're interested. Boost from sleep, same kind of thing. This is a big win for me, like I talked about, but they said you need at least 5 nights of data to get something accurate during the past 7 days. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So we'll see what that looks like. And then our fitness program. So it looks like you can try it if you try. You can do, of course, programs. Polar's been around for a while. They're gonna have all these kind of things. Don't care about that. Activity. So this is cool. We got steps, distance, obviously walk, ran, biked potentially, how long you were active, and then the kcals. And with these calories burned, it's important to understand that the majority of the calories that we burn is from something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Basically meaning all the calories you burn outside of activity. Now, if you're the Helio strap, you're gonna think that I burn about 700 calories from my lifting session, which is not even close to being accurate. The Whoop is much more conservative, maybe 150 to 300 calories, depending on if it's upper to lower body day. We'll see how this one is, because I think a lot of people, they overestimate how many calories they're burning from exercise, and it's kind of that I've earned this mentality. They do whatever it is, cardio or lifting, and then have some sort of cheat meal or have some sort of dessert, thinking that you have burned it off, and even maybe you've burned more calories than you're consuming, which is almost never true. So we'll see how accurate this is. I have a pretty good read. I'm tracking my weight very regularly right now, tracking my calories, which we'll talk about here in a second. There's something cool in here. So I'll be able to know, okay? So that'll be cool. We got day, we got week. And give you your averages, that's cool. And then your month. All right, that was activity. Sport profiles. So I've seen this before too, is okay, they're gonna have some basic sport profiles, and then you can add a custom one. So whatever you wanna do, you can get in here. Looks like they have a lot. It said they had 170 different ones. So that's sweet, there it is. We're gonna add strength training because I'm gonna do that here in about an hour or two. And I will update this to kind of show you what that dashboard looks like after I do an activity. And then obviously you have favorites, which is really cool. Any of you guys out there, big runners or bikers, you guys know about Commute, you guys know about Strava, you know about the leaderboards, bragging, these kind of things. Awesome that you can connect. And then devices, this part's cool. So you can tell it exactly where you're wearing it on. Obviously you can turn on battery notifications. I don't know why you'd want that off. That's good to know. The inactivity alert, If any of you guys are familiar with the Apple Watch, it's like, hey, you've been sitting too long, you need to stand. This is fine. I'm gonna try it, see how annoying it is. I know certain times, like if you're on a plane or something and it's telling you stand, yeah, that's a nice reminder, but it's like if you're in the, the window seat and you got it, you might not always want to do that. So we'll see how annoying this is. Track training automatically, okay. Cool, we can automatically track. You can choose at which training intensity automatic tracking starts. I like that, that's really cool. It's basically you're setting a threshold for it. Low intensity means that even light activities such as household chores triggers the tracking. The higher intensity, harder you need to work. You do some testing. Okay, cool. Because I just did a video about the Whoop and automatically how it tracks your activities. And I'm like not that impressed. If you haven't seen, check that here. So with this, I'm gonna start. It's cool that you can really fine tune it. It looks like you got medium high. I'm gonna go between low and medium to make sure that it's picking up my, like an upper body day where I might be just doing accessory work. My heart rate's not gonna get elevated, guys. So I wanna make sure it's gonna track all my stuff first, and then I will mess with it. But if I'm doing the dishes for 5 minutes and it's like, hey, you just did an activity, yeah, we're gonna bump it up a bit, right? So let's start it here. See, I'll give you guys some feedback how that is working. Notifications, don't have notifications. In general settings, this is what I mentioned a little bit ago, but you can connect MyFitnessPal. I think that's cool. I'll see kind of the integrations. Usually it's just gonna show you the calories that you have into the app, and that's fine. I don't really need that, but we'll see what the kind of integrations it has. And then of course you can connect Apple Health, Apple Calendar, Google Calendar, okay? So that's all pretty sweet stuff here, guys. We'll see how this starts filling out as I'm actually using it after a day of, I'll do the fitness test, I'll do a workout, I'll get some sleep, and I'll be putting those kind of on screen now just so you guys can get a quick overview of how that dashboard looks. Because now testing so many of these, the app is so critical in terms of the usability. If you get into something every day and I pull up my app and I'm looking at my sleep, I'm looking at my recovery, and I don't love the interface, I don't love that it's clunky, maybe it's slow to load, I'm Helio. Things like this, it doesn't feel good to interact with. And the whole point of these, they're screenless. You have to use the app. You have to go into the app. You have to interact with the app on a pretty much daily basis if you want your money's worth, especially for something like Whoop. And that's where Whoop, and I think many people would agree, they crush it. Their app is amazing. It loads instantly. It's always loaded. The second I pull it up, it's ready to go. It has all the data you could ever want, plus a little bit more, and is continually updated. It's the whole shebang. That app is incredible. That's what I'm comparing all these other ones to. Obviously, that one has a subscription. So I'll have different standards because of that, just like you guys should. But I will say, I can tell you right now, with this, I didn't see anything, I've not heard anything with the Loop that it is not gonna give you insights. That is where the Whoop, in my opinion, if this does pretty much everything the Whoop does, then heck yeah, that's amazing for the price. But that Whoop, is it worth the cost? That's up to you, but those insights that it gives you based on your behaviors, it's like, hey, high altitude affects you this way. Drinking 3 cups of coffee versus 1 cup of coffee affects your sleep, affects your recovery this way. Those are the reasons that I like the Whoop. Those are the reasons I even track any of this stuff, is because I wanna know what I'm doing. Is it working? Is it not working? Because really for me, I'm always trying to maximize sleep, because that is gonna be the biggest change that you can make to your fitness, to your health, to your weight, everything, right guys? So by tracking specific behaviors that affect my sleep, that's gonna be key for me. Now, is that worth $240 a year? I don't know, that's for you to decide. So please, in the comments below, let me know about this. Let me know what you guys have questions about. As I'm testing it, I will be answering. I'll obviously come out with a long-term review on this. Let me know if you guys, maybe some of you have already had this, you have some experience. If you have tips, tricks, let the community know. I know all of us are just trying to find that best tracker. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm testing so freaking many of these for you guys. So, like I said, if you wanna win this, gotta comment below, and we're going for 50,000 views on this video. That's easy, guys. We can do that. And then I will send this brand spanking new Polar Loop strap to one of you lucky winners. Until next time, I really appreciate you guys watching. Take it easy.